Genghis Khan is one of the most outstanding historical rulers. He is famous for uniting the disparate Mongol tribes into one and creating a huge army in the 13th century AD. Under his leadership, the Mongolian people conquered vast territories, which later led to the emergence of a number of states, including the Golden Horde and the Chagatai Ulus. It is believed that Genghis Khan died in 1227 at the age of 65, but the exact cause of his death is still unknown to the world. One version says that he crashed after falling from a horse, and according to another legend, he lost a lot of blood after being castrated by a princess of the Tanguts, a tribe in northwestern China, as a result of which he died. After this, the great Khan of the Mongol Empire was buried, but where exactly, no one knows to this day. Surely each of you has come across this name, the pronunciation of which is terrifying, Genghis Khan. There are still millions of scholarly debates around this historical figure. They are perplexed. How can such a person disappear without leaving a trace? In our Telegram channel, the link to it will be in the profile header and pinned in the comments. Be sure to subscribe. There are a lot of valuable archives there, which unfortunately I cannot tell about on YouTube. There are dozens of posts in which we revealed facts about the main Mongol of the whole world. We described our theory of his death in Telegram, told where he was buried and what is special about his tomb. YouTube does not like this, alas. And now let's move on to the topic for which we all gathered today. Let's go. According to Mongolian folk beliefs, the grave of the great conqueror Genghis Khan is located on the territory of the Kente Imag, which is located in the northeast of Mongolia. On the approaches to Mount Burkhan Khaldun, approximately 160 kilometers from the capital Ulaanbaatar, there is a special place, visiting which was forbidden for a long time and is known as Ik Horig in Mongolian. The great Temujin, better known as Genghis Khan, the Great Khan, went down in history as the founder of the largest Mongol Empire in history, stretching from the Black Sea to the Pacific coast. The ruler was born between 1155 and 1162 and passed away between August 18th and 25th, 1227 at the age of 72 years. The death and resting place of the Great Khan are shrouded in mystery to this day. It is reliably known that death overtook Genghis Khan during a campaign in northern China to suppress an uprising in the Tangut Kingdom, the great state of high whiteness, previously conquered by the Mongols. Then the discrepancies begin. According to one version, Genghis Khan died after the last victorious battle with the Tanguts from an arrow wound, possibly poison, in the leg. According to another, the pacified Tanguts came to the conqueror to discuss the terms of surrendering their capital, Zhongxing. And sometime after the negotiations, Genghis Khan died. In the second case, the supposed causes include age-related illness, deacclimatization in China, the consequences of an injury 2 years before death as a result of falling from a horse, poisoning with gifts from the Tangut negotiators, and even murder by a young wife who was taken away by the ruler from her former husband. Neither historians nor archaeologists have been able to establish the exact place where Genghis Khan is buried. General assumptions say that his grave may be in the Mongolian steppe in the places of his childhood, at the foot of one of the mountains, or in Altai. If in the Mongolian steppe, then, according to one legend, during his lifetime, Genghis Khan ordered to be buried near the sources of the Onon River, near Mount Burkhan Khaldun, where his ancestral camp was located. This version is supported by a 17th century source, where Burkhan Khaldun is also listed as the burial site. Some medieval sources say that after Genghis Khan's funeral, thousands of horses were driven through his burial site and it was trampled. This was allegedly done to prevent the looting of the grave, where in addition to the body there were valuables, and to preserve the mystery of the sacred place. And the outsiders who willingly or unwillingly witnessed the funeral were destroyed by the soldiers. Other chroniclers indicated that after burying the body of their leader, the warriors changed the course of one of the nearby rivers so that it would flow over the grave. The reason was the same, to protect the burial from looting. A similar version says that before burying their ruler, the burial team dammed the Selenga River, which originates in China, flows northwest to Buryatia, and flows into Lake Baikal. And while the riverbed was dry, they buried Genghis Khan at the bottom, and then destroyed the dam. There is also a legend that Genghis Khan himself ordered that his tomb be flooded during his lifetime, after which this place would remain out of sight and physical reach of mere mortals. At the beginning of this century, American archaeologists uncovered a burial site from the time of the Mongol Empire, consisting of 40 graves, where the remains of more than 50 people rested. Judging by their clothes, they belonged to the nobility. This place is located in Mongolia, 400 kilometers from its capital, Ulaanbaatar. The study of the remains led scientists to the assumption that perhaps the buried were Mongolian Khans, and it is possible that one of the tombs contains the remains of Genghis Khan. However, the Americans were unable to develop the study. It was banned by the Mongolian authorities. In 2004, an archaeological expedition of Mongolian and Japanese researchers discovered a foundation in the steppes of eastern Mongolia dating back to the period of the 13th, 15th centuries. At first, scientists tried to find a connection between the foundation and the palace of Genghis Khan. Further excavations gave reason to believe that this was not a palace, but a mausoleum in which Genghis Khan himself was possibly buried. But these assumptions were not confirmed. In turn, Chinese scientists have stated that the real burial place of Genghis Khan is in the Xinjiang Uyghur Autonomous Region, XUAR, bordering Kazakhstan. The above attempts are only a small part of the efforts that have been made by world science for almost 8 centuries in search of the resting place of the Great Khan. But as new information is discovered about him, new hypotheses about the burial place of the conqueror continue to be born, and old assumptions are strengthened or refuted. Another mystery of the Great Khan is where his material inheritance went. It amounted, according to rough estimates, to 500 tons of gold and 3,000 tons of silver. But this wealth disappeared without a trace either immediately before or immediately after the accession to power of Genghis Khan's son, Tului, in 1227. No matter how hard Tului and the subsequent rulers of the Mongolian Empire, also sons of Genghis Khan, Ogyadai and Chagatai, as well as thousands of treasure hunters searched for it, the missing thing was never found. Although, according to legend, the treasures were kept in 7 wells, subsequently dug up and down. It is also unknown when it was born, but there is a belief that after the ashes of Genghis Khan and his legacy are found, a great and difficult war will begin in the world. A few words about the secret will of Genghis Khan, perhaps. The secret history of the Mongols tells how one day the Great Khan was hunting near Mount Burkhan Khaldun in the Khenti Mountains in his homeland. He was tired and sat down to rest under a shady tree. The landscape that opened up to his eyes struck the Khan with its beauty so much that he bequeathed to be buried in these mountains. Burkhan Khaldun has another significance in the life of Genghis Khan. Once, while fighting with the Merket tribes, Genghis Khan miraculously escaped death and hid in a sacred place on Mount Burkhan Khaldun, where an old woman gave him shelter. From then on, he vowed to honor the mountain with sacrifices and prayers every morning. After his death, Genghis Khan's remains were taken by his soldiers to his homeland, where he was buried according to his will. The Khan ordered him to be laid to rest in an unmarked grave somewhere in the heart of the mountains. Nothing marks the place. There is no mausoleum, no temple, no tombstone. To this day, no one knows where Genghis Khan is buried. Conclusion. The search has been going on for quite a long time, and archaeologists have managed to find more than 1,000 possible burial sites. The study of these places is complicated by the fact that the Mongols are furiously protesting against anyone disturbing the tomb of the Great Khan. Researchers are forced to study the area using satellite images. They are looking for a place that looks like a grave. The problem is that they have no idea what exactly to look for. What should this place look like? It is like looking for a needle in a haystack. In addition, no one really understands what this needle looks like. So far, scientists have not made any progress in the search for the tomb of Genghis Khan. Although in the process, several sites of great archaeological and cultural significance were discovered. The elusive tomb of the Great Khan continues to attract archaeologists. Some have started using drones to get a closer look at the landscape without setting foot on the sacred territory, which is now a closed zone. The Mongols do not share this desire. For them, Genghis Khan is a great leader. Since he did not want anyone to know where he was buried, then his will must be fulfilled and no one has the right to violate his dying wish. The founder of the Mongol Empire probably loved war more than anything else. At the same time, he was not only a great commander who could conquer the whole world, but also a famous lover of women. The Khan's harem included several thousand concubines. Share this video with your friends. Let them know more about their history.